Broke when I meet you, you don't stand a chance. Because
What's broke to you? What is defined broke?
you make less than double what I make.
Less than double.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not a shit ton,
Okay.
but you should be making double what I make. That being said, it's because I've held broke men down. I've been played by broke men.
Okay.
And personally, it doesn't pay off. So I won't do it again. And it is what it is. It's not hard to find someone who makes twice what I make. I personally attract people who make like a whole spectrum. That being said, if you are broke and I choose to deal with you, I will belittle you. It is what it is. And I reserve the right to do that. And also, if you want to cheat at your own risk, I'm apt to ghost you. And it is what it is because men who make more money than me, they treat me with that same power dynamic.
I don't consider myself to be a particularly ethical person, but I am fair.
Welcome, my friends. My name is Antoine Phoenix, and this is my RP experience. Peace and love to all my brothers and sisters out there. Thank you for being here for another one of my videos. Today's video is going to be about, are gold diggers born or are gold diggers created? Now, I think it's a three-part answer to this. A few days ago, I did a video about the 7 levels of female attraction. And at number 1, it was women that's all about the money, about all that they can get out of the situation. Now, personally, because I get to meet a lot of different people in this walk of life, always usually try to understand the other person's point of view. The only time I'm not trying to understand is if they are hurting and abusing kids, they are hurting, abusing the opposite gender to the extent that they are ruining their lives, or they are going to delete them or put them in the hospital, meaning men that's beating on women. Women can get away with it more because women are smaller with the beating on men, but women have the power to ruin a man socially if she decides to spread a lie or to omit something or just straight up lie. She has that power most of the time, unless if she has a really bad reputation. But on the offset, because of things that men do, such as violent crimes, and women's chances of doing violent crimes are a lot more smaller, that is why a lot of times women are given the benefit. And a lot of them use it to their full advantage. I would say some, but I'm talking about the stories that do come out. If they don't like the guy, and even if the guy has not done what they say, they will press the advantage. Now, for gold diggers that are created, how does this happen? I believe this either happens socially, with friends, the people that they hang around, their peer group.
Girl, Timmy went for my birthday. All he got me was some flowers and balloons. Like, I could do so much better. Ugh. What? He only got you that? I got a good job. I look good. I got a house. Like, men looking for women like me. For real. Girl, you is so fine. These men will be crawling all over you. For real. You know what? You right. You know what? I'm dropping him. I'm about to go out there and get me a real man. That's right, girl. You leveling up.
2 weeks later.
Why you ain't tell me dating was so hard? I was just telling you what you wanted to hear. These streets is hard, girl. You should have held on to what you had.
Because I believe that has a high influence on most people, unless if you are more of a loner, meaning you can be around people, but you can think for yourselves. But most people are not built like that. That includes male and female. But I do think more men are more about thinking for themselves, especially when they get older. When they're younger, they can be a lot more influenced by men that come up and gain a following and speak confidently. But when they get their own experiences, or either they feel something differently than what the guy is saying, even if he's right, they will definitely go against it. Women, sometimes they seem to be the opposite with this particular thing. They do go about how they feel, but a lot of times they go about how they look to their peers. This is why sometimes you will have, and I've had this, I have a good conversation with a woman. We seem to have a connection, some chemistry going on. If her girlfriend comes over and says something to her, she can totally just cock block and blow up that situation, even if the woman was initially interested in me.
Okay, riddle me this. A man got me flowers, okay? And he goes, did you notice they match your nails? They match my nails to a T. At first I was like, oh my gosh, like that's so cute, that's so cute, that's so cute. Then I posted on my private story, and all my friends were like, oh, baby girl, he's gay. Is he gay?
No, he's not gay. He just likes you, and he's trying to pay attention to specifics with you in order for you to realize that he likes you. And he's trying to impress you, which initially seems like the case, like it was effective. You seemed impressed until you got your friend's opinion, which, by the way, is a perfect example of a woman's single friends trying to keep a woman single, which is really messed up. But beautiful women, you need to come to terms with this. You should see men that put an effort like this in a different light, in a positive light. When you don't, that is what is so disheartening to men. And then you don't even end up getting what you want, which is a good man. Which, side note, because people are already saying this in the comments, those are carnations. Yes, they are a cheaper flower, but let me tell you, they last like a month, which is like 2 weeks longer than any other flower. The fact is that man just really likes you.
Now with men, that doesn't happen as much. It can happen. Again, if a guy has high status, he's really popular, he's a celebrity or something, but if he is not that, most of the time he will blow off what the guy is saying. Sometimes to his own detriment, but to women, I think that shows that a man can think more for himself when he's out here picking the women. It's just that sometimes, or a lot of times, he can be wrong, just like the women is being wrong, just for different reasons. So with women getting socialized because of their peer group to be gold diggers, that can happen. Then they can be, their mom can raise a woman to be a gold digger, to be like, get what you can get. And I've heard women say this particular thing to their daughters. So they can be raised like that from their moms. And also fathers can play a big part in this, because sometimes fathers also, because they know how either they was, and usually I believe this is how they were, but how a lot of men are, they will tell their, or school their daughters on how they should get commitment, make sure he puts a ring on it, make sure he does this, he does that. Again, it is never really women or men, mothers or fathers, teaching a woman how to treat a man that's treating you well, or that is doing the right things. It's all about getting herself in position to get the best outcome. Whereas men do a similar thing when they are teaching men. This includes fathers, uncles, pickup artists. They teach men how to get women, how to be confident, how to get your foot in the door, how to get the end goal of, I guess, smashing or getting the cheeks.
Ian. Why are you tripping? I'm just taking a selfie, like. Do you know what the word of the day is?
No.
The word of the day is legs.
Legs.
Do you want to come back to my place and spread the word?
She want me.
You got a number?
Yeah.
Type that shit in before I change my mind.
Yeah.
whatever they want to call it. But they rarely show you how to maintain the relationship. It's all about turning her on so you can get what you need out of the thing. So both do it here, but we're talking about women. So with the way that they are parented, they can become gold diggers just because of that. Then is women, and these are the only women I relate to, which I understand if you're raised that way, it's kind of hard to break out of that indoctrination. You should not have your friends steering you down the wrong way. But even if you're raised like that, if you come across experiences that shows you something different, then you should adjust to it. I'll tell a quick story of when I was in the Navy. It was a white guy on the ship that I was on. And me and him was having some good conversations for a few days. And then he told me, he said, hey, I'm glad I met you because I was raised to be prejudiced, racist, to not like black people. But because I met you, it has changed my outlook of looking at all black people in the same kind of way. Now, I lost contact with the guy. I don't know what he's into now, but I was glad I was able to do that for him because we do go by our experiences. But that is why I say, even if you are raised a certain kind of way, if you get an opportunity to be around different types of people, you should be able to break out of that particular thing. The one way I can understand if a woman becomes a gold digger is if she was one of those types of women, especially if she was a 5 or a 6. 6, I don't think usually turns to being a gold digger. If anything, they lose all faith in humanity and they may want to stop dating for a while. Now, it is possible that some women may go through that thing of trying to smash a bunch of men to become numb. Some women may do that. I'm a little torn because I haven't come across too many women that I would say is a level 6 attraction. But as far as a level 5 attraction, yes, I've seen women either they do that thing of they become all about the money, what they can get about, or they get back on the horse and they're constantly falling into men's beds because they are trying to numb away the pain. They're desperately looking for love and they're hoping that the next guy or the next fling turns into something else. Now, this could also be the 6, but again, because I'm not 100% sure on this particular thing, I'm not going to say that right there. I've just seen women just totally shut off, not wanting to date. And usually those are those women that went all out for the guy. A lot of times it's the wrong guy. And this is the thing too, which I know we always tell women to pick better. One of the big things that men to have game or men that are out here dating is that they will lie. They will lie about their financial status. They will lie about the person that they are. They will pretend to be a lot more nicer as far as being charming. I don't think you can fake being funny, but they will present a person that they are not. Now, women do this too, but they do it more when they're definitely trying to get married. I think when you first meet them and they're feeling you out, long if it's not a thing of she's looking at your status or how much money that you have or something, I think you get an honest version of her if she's not looking at you in that big-eyed way of like, wow, I can get this and that from the person. Then I guess she has incentive to fake who she is. But if it's not that particular thing, then you will get more of an honest thing with her. That woman may think that, hey, well, I know he's rough around the edges. I can just dress him up. I can fix him up. I'm feeling something from him. He looks like I want him to look. Men do this too, but a woman will do it and because the man is also pretending to a certain type of degree, then she gets fooled. So because of that is the combination of a woman having a picture of a guy that she may expect him to be perfect and he's not, and she falls off and maybe she becomes bitter. This is more of the 5 woman. She may become more of, I'm all about the money. I'm not going to pick on potential. And then there are the women that did genuinely love the man as much as unconditional as a woman could. He just totally disappointed her by presenting something that he was not. And because she felt like she wasted her time, then she becomes that woman that's all about what she can get. That is the only type of gold digger that maybe as a man you would want to try with. You don't want to have to fix someone that was raised like that. Unless if it just happened organically, she realizes it on her own. And you definitely don't want to do that for a woman that has been conditioned by her peer group to be like that. So that is the 3 levels of gold digger right there. Only one, well, 2 of them can change and is redeemable. But I do understand the one that got hurt and betrayed and then felt like that's how she's going to do business. Because men do a similar thing when they become all about the boxer, all about smashing. They feel like they was a sucker for taking her out, and meanwhile, a Chad or a Tyrone or a guy that's not putting no effort in at all is getting the goods. He smashed her. He's coming from the back door as you're leading out, and he's smashing her. So that's how men get into a particular thing. Then, of course, there are men that's taught to do that. And then there's men that might have been raised by their, I don't think fathers would usually teach their son to be like that, but they might have an uncle, cousins, those things. I just wanted to explain the gold digger a little bit more because I know a lot of times we'll say, oh, she's a gold digger. A lot of times, especially if I knew the woman in a certain point of her life, especially if she was a sweetheart or she seemed like a nice woman and now she's on that, in the back of my mind, I'm going to be like, something happened. Some guy really hurt her and disappointed her. And that's why she's here. So, to the men out there that are players, Chads or Tyrones, men that's running through women, try to limit that and cut down on that particular thing. If you're dealing with a woman that's on that hot girl summer that really just wants to do that, then fine. But if the woman seems to be really into you, don't dog her out. Okay? Because you guys are creating that problem out here. If the guy's a good guy or a guy that wants to take care of a woman, he's running into that buzzsaw like her. And unfortunately, she's not adjusting to the situation, saying like, oh, okay, this guy seems different. She just clumped all men into like, well, all men lie and all men are this, so I'm going to do this right here. So that's it. Thanks for being here. Give me a like and subscribe and have a good night.
Just a quick reminder, if the man makes $80,000 per year and the wife makes $40,000 per year, together their household income is $80,000 per year.
This is why guys don't give a lick about your career. This is why they don't give a lick about how much money you make, because your money is your money, and they know damn well that you're going to be spending that on clothes or on handbags or on the nail salon or on, oh my God, I need to dye my hair. My eyebrows are so effed up. They know that you're going to just burn all of that. It's not going to go to the family in the vast majority of cases. It's going to be, or it's going to be your stash, right? You're going to have the like, oh my God, just in case he leaves me, which is really, oh, just in case I decide I want to leave him, stash, right? So his money is your money and your money is your money. So why should he give a lick about your career? Why? A man makes money to take care of his woman and his family, and a woman makes money to take care of herself.
$dollar bills, keep you falling from me. I love the way I feel, boy. Some money, dropping on my money. Some money, all the sex so yummy, yeah. Drinking, buy the things I like. Boy, stopping in my ass tonight. Some money, dropping on my money.